This is WVBN, reporting from Great Britain. The British lost contact with the Seychelles this week due to unknown causes. This sudden loss invited waves of speculation from both the British public and within the government. Commonly cited causes were Invisible Morgana and German attacks. This loss was made worse by a rising question that the British government could not protect all its citizens around the globe. The British Admiralty believed they had identified the source of these rumors, a sedition Morgana in the Caribbean. To destroy her, a task force was assembled with the 8th Cruiser Squadron to find and destroy her. She was located by the cruisers, after following a line of radio repeaters, to a bay in the Virgin Islands. Sedition had laid a trap for the squadron, who came under initial heavy attack, but managed to push the Morganas towards the coast. The leader of the squadron, Perth, took control of the situation and ordered a devastating torpedo assault, destroying Sedition's armor. The Morgana made to attack Perth, but sank beneath the waves before she could reach the cruiser. The squadron survived the skirmish without losing any vessels, but was damaged thoroughly, and medics on board suspected a disease outbreak after the combat. Worst of all was that the Sedition destroyed was not the original source of the messages, which are now being detected around the globe. Officials in London agreed to fortify Canadian defenses at the request of the United States. The Gulf of St. Lawrence and the Johnstone Strait were identified as key defensive positions to be reinforced in the coming weeks. As the 8th Cruiser Fleet was unable to move north, the Admiralty would be forced to choose where to pull ships from to sufficiently protect Canada. In India, Captain Utteridge of HMS Danae, formerly a critical figure in the defense of the colony, was charged with extortion of local officials. An investigation revealed that coastal towns were charged exorbitant fees for patrols, and that funding for the 9th Squadron was embezzled. Utteridge was stripped of his rank and sentenced to death under the Articles of War. Before his execution, he was publicly flogged under the Whipping Act of 1530, as an example to any who would commit crimes against Britain. HMS Seawolf secured 10 kills against Morgana shipping this week, and 1 cowardice. Seawolf herself suffered only 1 casualty. A sonar operator listening to the shipping vessels go down described what he heard as screams of the damned. The experience left him unconscious and deafened, but is expected to make a full recovery. Following this experience, new protocols were put in place to avoid listening to potentially harmful noises originating from these vessels. The captain of Seawolf was knighted for their accomplishments, not only in hunting Morgana vessels, but also the raid on Heligoland and defense of the Empire. Seawolf's bell was considered for damehood, but there was not yet precedent for knighting a warship. Elsewhere, the HMS Queen Elizabeth was rerouted to Singapore through Gibraltar, to meet with the 9th Destroyer Flotilla and Japanese guests. The cargo liner Dormala was bombed by Germany, with a loss of 108 of the 291 people on board. The Home Office announced that women would not be required to work excess of 60 hours a week in factories, and youth under 16 would not be required to work more than 48. This has been WVBN, reporting from Great Britain.